Today is November 12th, and we are going to present to you our off-season plans. Let's talk Yanks.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy, Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme, and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talking Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy, and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy, and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talking Yanks. Thank you very much for joining us today. It's brought to you by SeatGeek. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. We got BBD in the corner, and I'm excited about this episode because we had to put some thought into it. I'd put some thinking into it. What we're going to do is give you our offseason plans with Soto.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole nother conversation. If they don't land Soto, then what do they pivot to? That's a whole new exercise. So
And if you like that, we'll do that one too.
But how I have this going is I'm going to give you what I laid out today. Jake's going to give you what he laid out. We'll discuss it. I'm ready to switch mine. Like, I'm not stuck in stone. I don't know if Jake is. And then we'll give you guys the prompt. We can even share the Google sheet. We can allow people to make a copy of that very blank one, Beebs, and they can do it. And then you guys make your plan that follows suit, put them in the comments, and we will, next episode, see what you guys did that we didn't do. Oh, I like that.
Oh, I like that.
This is awful, Freddie.
Oh,
Get out of here.
I like that.
Yes. Jake, are you excited about this?
James Davis, everyone tuning in. I am. This is depending where you're from. This is my John. This is my Ish. These are the video games I used to play growing up. Was literally doing this. Even ones you couldn't play the game. You're just like, oh, let's do this.
Yeah. Franchise mode. No.
Franchise dynasty mode out of the GM. So I'm excited to do this, and yeah, I mean that's where my questions to you going into this with this concept was: is this our plan or is this what we think the Yankees should do? This is our plans. This is my plan. This isn't, I think they're going to do this. This is what I would do as the GM of the Yankees, and obviously within the realm of possibility and being realistic.
Yes. So
neither of us have Sasaki, right? Just because we're I can't anticipate that.
No, and he doesn't really affect the money.
He's free.
Yeah.
So that'd be sick.
Beebs, if you have it in post, you can put the blank Google sheet up, because what we made was all the people that are under contract, the money that's on record right away in 2025, that goes towards the cap. And that alone gets you to $227 million, which gives you 72 to spend. We just did it a $300 million limit. It might be 308, 305. I don't know what it was. Hal said it's not going to go.
I believe the Steve Cohen tax is 301, so we built an inherent $1 million of wiggle room.
300 safe.
And then I think MLB Trade Rumors has their expected salaries, and we danced around. I didn't go, I'm going to get him and I'm going to pay him less.
Right.
He's going to take a discount, because that's not a realistic way to do this. I just straight up used what MLB Trade Rumors had.
Okay.
And usually,
but I gave myself some wiggle room because I know they usually are. Sometimes they're lower.
Right.
Usually, on the whole, estimating a total team situation, they're close. So
that's the exercise. Okay, we're gonna get into it, but first, here is the pregame show for the upcoming game of Blitzball Battle 5, where Jake and I are proving ourselves to be back, even though we went 0-1. Game 4, pregame show.
Blitzball Battle 5. We got the defending champion McFlurry Power taking on Hook, Line, Sinkers. And I think the biggest question is, can anybody score off of Colin Stone?
That's the biggest question. Colin Stone won everything last tournament. He's got every pitch you can draw up. He can move it all over the place. Or will you rely on having to get the praying mantis to give up some runs?
The last guy that he gave up runs to is actually somebody he'll be facing, Dan Canovio.
Wow.
When you haven't participated in the warehouse,
she gets a little shady.
Prediction time.
I don't want to scare you here as I pick McFlurry Power, but Colin has just gotten better because since BB4, he's been playing in that professional Blitzball league with the Team Como guys. Hard to pick against the defending champs.
I'm also going to pick McFlurry Power.
But I think that old man Dan is going to surprise us. K-Mac admitted to us, I don't like facing Dan Canobio. We will see you later today for Game 4 of Blitzball Battle 5.
Okay. I'm going to go first because, like you said, this is your thing. And I kind of just, by doing this exercise, was like, oh, shit, this is tough. This isn't as easy as people just say, go do this, go do that. So I didn't land concretely, but I did some stuff that I liked, and I'm excited to see what you said, what you did. First, though,
Sure.
you said no Caleb Durbin talk, and I was of that mindset.
Right.
On the train ride here today, was like, well, let me go look at this guy.
Right.
I fell in love.
Yeah. Short king.
Not only that,
Right.
his skill set is awesome. Okay. So I needed to make some concessions. I also kept this in mind.
Okay.
Babes, I have that Google Doc. Again, you don't need to put it up now. You can put it in post. But Andy Martino's book, The Yankee Way, was a great read for how the Yankees used to do this. And this is how they used to do it. If you scroll up, this was their player profile, and they made this in the early 80s, and the 90s dynasty was built off this entirely. And instead of looking at a player as his 5 tools, take that total number divided by 5, they were like, that's really stupid because who the fuck cares if a catcher can run?
Right.
Like, why would he being a 20 out of 80 speed bring down his overall rankings? So the way that the Yankees overs looked at it was each position has the tools in order of what they want, and the top 2 have to add to 110. So like 60 and 50.
The scouting scale, if those who don't know,
Yeah.
goes 20 to 80, so that's where they're trying to get.
Cashman in the book says, yeah, we kind of lost this little when they went all righties, all slow, all bad at defense.
No way.
So I tried to keep this in mind. I think it's really cool.
Okay.
And then the other thing that I loved reading that book, if you scroll up to top right, how they used to evaluate minor league numbers was they needed a 360 on base percentage at AAA because they say they're going to lose 25 points in the big leagues. And then they wanted 420 or more slug because they said they're going to get stronger and the slug's going to go up. Those doubles will turn into home runs. That was awesome when I read that, like just to have a benchmark. So I took that and then I went to Durbin's page.
You love him.
To see what he did. And yeah, he's a tiny dude. Caleb Durbin. Is it Cale Durbin? That's what I wrote down, but I think Cale's
Listed 5'6".
Yeah, he said in his interview, he said, I'm taller than that.
Same.
His numbers, he had a 396 on base percentage and a 471 slug this year in a lot of plate appearances. So he fits the bill there.
Yeah, his past 2 years of minor leagues, and we laugh because we were looking at some of the minor league rankings for these exercises, and the thing is they move so quickly because if you have a good year, good. Bad year, bad. Where's Everson Pereira? Caleb Durbin's last 2 years have been good.
Yes. And his whiff percentage, he doesn't strike out at all. He's a contact guy. He steals bags, and he can play everywhere in the infield besides first base. So I said, all right, fuck it. Because it's real hard to fill out the infield for me. Give DJ and Birdie the early starts at third or second. I'd rather third. I'd rather Jazz move to second. So you have a strong arm to pair with Soto's weak arm on relays over there. And DJ, Birdie. No, Birdie was a 2-WAR player for a little bit, got injured. And when they have to pull the plug on DJ, Durbin comes in and give him a shot.
The Derb.
And by doing that at one position, which some people might not like, it allowed me to spend more money elsewhere.
Sure does.
So I was like, okay, I like that. I'm in on that. So that's just one little thing that I had to talk myself into.
Okay. I did the Cespedes barbecue guys. For some people that'll resonate with them. I think one or both of them went to Caleb Durbin's college. So I just texted them. I was like, are you obsessed with Caleb Durbin? They said, been obsessed. So
90%
lot.
contact pitches in the zone. And struck out less than walked this year. Little dude. So they said he doesn't have an edge. Like he doesn't have short guy syndrome in all the scouting reports.
Oh, so he's not a Napoleon? I don't know. I'm worried about that.
Actually, I kind of was. Like,
Right.
wait, I want him to.
And then Jake Cespedes sent a picture of him and Caleb Durbin.
Yeah, so I actually, before the train ride this morning, was fully out. I was like, no fucking way.
Right.
I'm done with the rookies.
Right.
This Boone team needs veterans because they don't teach skills.
Sure.
He was in the Brave system for a little. Maybe that helped out. It was a Litke trade, the Lint Liquor. So that's just some preamble stuff that I was keeping in mind as I built this. And I was comparing him to some other Yankees minor league numbers. Like Glaber had that. Peraza's never had that. I don't think Volpe ever had that. Those on base and slugging
Right.
AAA metrics. Like
Some age stuff there, obviously. Durbin's 24.
yeah, college kid.
Yeah.
So is Judge.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, and then here's what I did.
Okay. How about some Skims, folks? Go get yourself some Skims today. Honestly, for me, I'll be honest with you people, it's my downstairs. I like to take care of it. And I mostly need to stay cool. I generate a lot of heat down there, on and off the field. And Skims, they can keep you cool down there. If you have the opposite, they sent us some like winter ones. I don't know if they're labeled winter ones, but they retain the heat that as the weather's changing. I looked in there today and I was like, oh, low of 30? Okay, we're here. Skims, Kim K made the call to me. I said, okay, it's late, Kim. Put down the phone. But I was like, you know what? The Skims underwear, I'll give it a run. And you should too. Shop Skims Men's at skims.com. Let them know we sent you after you place your order. Select podcast in the survey and then select our show in the drop-down menu. And if you're looking for the perfect gifts for the whole family, wow, a Skims holiday season, yep. Go check out their holiday shop. It's all at skims.com. Click the link in the description.
Okay.
Gimme.
First thing I did was I did not pay Tim Mesa the $4 million. He's going to get an arbitration.
Correct.
I took that off.
No offense to Tim Mesa. That's just too much for this exercise.
I am not paying Trent Grisham $5,700,000. I try to trade him somewhere, but if no one like wants him, then I like non-tender then trade or whatever that is. Is that how that works? Or you non-tender, you're gone.
You can
It's
non-tender, you're gone. You can try to trade him before that.
try to
day,
trade him before
you know,
that day.
Which would be like
but
3 weeks.
no way I can pay Trent Grisham $5.7 million when I'm on a budget
Right.
to not play.
Sure.
So that money comes off the book. And then that's the for sures. There's some other money I'm trying to get off the books in trades later on, but those are for sures. And then I got Juan Soto. This is the Juan Soto plan,
Right.
$46 million a year. That's what a lot of them are saying, 13 years. It's going to be that Tatis contract is what they're going to aim for because it's the highest paid. That's what Passan wrote today. It's like the 14 years, 600, whatever.
Like longest contract ever.
46 mil. That's my number one move. My next move is going and getting Christian Walker.
Okay.
I need a gold.
Nice.
I need a Gold Glover at first base. I need someone to help all the infield over there. He's expected to get like a 3-year deal, $20 million a year. He's a righty, so we get righty heavy. I think he hits lefties. I think he hits both.
He's good.
Better versus righties, actually. But the numbers versus lefties are good.
Yeah.
He's good. Again, I think if Boone is the manager, I want more veterans and youth, veterans than youth. I think Boone has the Joe Torre style of managing, just kind of loose, let them do their thing. I think that works when you got a bunch of young kids.
Right.
And we already have a lot of young kids, as you see with,
Caleb Durbin.
Wells is in the second year.
Right.
I have Dominguez getting run. So those are my two. Like that was my standard. I need both of them. I want both of them. The right side was such a pain point.
Yeah.
Bad defense at first, bad defense at second, bad defense in right field. Soto's coming back. bad defense in right field will remain. Give me good, a good relay with Jazz. Give me a good first baseman to help out and all that stuff. So those are my first 2 moves.
What was the salary number on Christian Walker? I might have missed that.
20 mil.
Call it 20.
20. I just went off, again, MLB trade. And you don't have that much trade capital, the Yankees, in my opinion. Some. So I want to lock up those 2 with money.
Sure.
All right. Then, once we've signed Soto, and you have him for this many years and Judge for this many years, I'm going to give the Martian some run. Center field, Judge plays left.
Okay.
I don't love that, but got to do it.
Got to do something.
Which means Spencer Jones, and I like Jones, but he's got to get moved while his value's high. He's the number 1 prospect in the org. That speaks to a lot of people. If you sign Soto, I think you have to move Jones. So I am trading him, and I'm going to go try and get with him Crochet from the White Sox. And I'm going to give them Will Warren. I don't really believe in Will Warren.
Yeah.
If they like him, that's 2 top 5 prospects. Sometimes GMs just want that number rather than the actual players involved. So I'm going to try and do that. I think it's going to be tough. There's going to be other people that offer stuff. But I have other trades I want to make, but they wouldn't warrant Spencer Jones. So if you're going to trade Spencer Jones, I think going and getting Garrett Crochet would be great because he's cheap. It's $2,900,000 next year for a starting pitcher of that caliber.
Yeah,
is a great addition. And you can build a package with some others around it because he's 1. Then you get like another top 10. And I'm going to try and make them eat 10 mil of Stroman's money.
Right.
And we'll eat 8. But I'm going to try. I need to find a suitor to take on 10 mil of Stroman's money. The Yanks will eat 8. That gives me 10 mil more to spend this year towards the 300.
Yes.
So I'm going to try and dump Stroman in a trade. If that's not likely, if White Sox people are getting so mad right now.
I didn't want to flex. I texted Jeff Passan because I was interested in some of the White Sox goodies. And I mentioned Jones, Dominguez, and he said he's not sure if those 2 would get Crochet.
That's a little crazy. They want hitters.
Crochet is cheap, and he was incredible last year, and you have him for a couple years.
But also the White Sox, they want plethora. Like they might take 5 dudes. Like they might take Jones, Peraza, Warren. Then I'd want to throw in a grab bag reliever of theirs as well and make him eat Stroman. Because when these teams that are just had the worst season in the history, they want to overhaul
it's a big reset.
And give themselves options. Like you saw the Padres forever just take 6 guys because then they know they're going to take those 6 guys and trade 3 of them later on.
Sure.
Need a new team.
So if I got to offer more there, I will. But that's what I want to do.
Okay.
There's no other starting pitchers that I found that I would trade that all of the prospect capital we have for.
Right.
But 2 years of Crochet for that cheap of salary.
If they're willing to do something, you have to consider that.
So for our books, you did include Stroman in this trade, $10 million of his 18.5.
Yep. And almost like here's top 10 prospects, take 2 of them plus 1 in the 10 through 15. That's how the Padres trades used to be done. Like take 2 top 10 and 2 10 through 20 in our org.
Figure it out. So it's kind of go grab them. And then I made a trade with the Cardinals. Hello.
For Ryan Helsley, 1 year. He's got big money, $6 million, 6.9 mil. You get him for 1 year. He's your closer. They need top-end bullpen. And JoJo Romero, lefty. They need lefties in the bullpen as well with Canely gone. He's a righty, but got lefties with Tim Hill gone. JoJo Romero's got 3 years left, and he's making like minimum $800,000, $850,000. Again, you tell that's a true rental in Helsley, so the price isn't going to be that much. So I didn't even go into like what I would trade back, which I know you would probably be better at doing that, but go get some stuff.
Yeah, you'd have to pay a little bit. I mean, Helsley's one of the top closers in baseball. It's 1 year. He has a little bit of a market. But yeah, I mean, it can get done.
It's not top prospects.
You don't need Jones or Dominguez.
No.
It can get done.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Also, I mean, high-level closers, you got to give up a body you're probably familiar with. I don't know if that's Arias. I don't know if that's your guy Lombard. I don't know if that's Chase Hampton. But, when Chapman was traded at the deadline, that was Cole Ragans. I know they got hurt by that trade. But
I just don't see spending. Like, I looked at Tanner Scott and some of the other big reliever markets. And it's just like, that's a lot of money.
it's daunting.
When,
It's daunting.
come playoffs, you got Weaver and Tim Hill as like 2 of your top, and Clay Holmes as 3 of your top 4.
I can't guarantee you what Tanner Scott would be as a Yankee.
Yeah. So I don't want to. It's 1 year of that, and then you get JoJo Romero in there, who's lefty. He's got good numbers. He was like their 8th inning guy both ways. And then I got a lot of fix-em relievers, but it's like Kirby Yates probably going to get a 1-year deal, but again, it's like $14 million for.
He's going to get paid, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah.
Here's where it gets tricky. I have $20 million left.
Okay. Helsley didn't cut into that?
He did.
Okay.
With Helsley, with Crochet, Romero, Helsley, Walker, Soto, I have 20
Right,
million.
you got off Stroman. Right.
Yeah, I got off Stroman. I also, with that money, with $20 million left, I'm off Trevino and playing Narvaez.
Okay. So you're getting rid of Trevino.
Because when I have Trevino, he's $3.4 million to be a true backup to Wellesley, who should get run. You're at $16 million left, and that's not enough to go do another move.
Right.
Because all the moves worthwhile are, around 15, 16. So you'd be like, you need to leave some money available for trades at the deadline and shit. And Narvaez has hit. And his defense, he's the best defensive catcher in the system, they say. So it's a backup position role, which I know in other areas, like you can even try to trade Trevi because it's a sought-out position. But I can't be paying that much money for backups.
Right.
Trent Grisham and Trevino is almost $9 million on the bench. I want to go get like a platoon outfielder.
Okay.
O'Neill and Jock, to me, I was like, oh, that's like the veteran bench piece that like they have.
Right.
I'd almost rather trade for them at the deadline. That's the other thing I was like,
Right.
do we need to, like, they're going to be like 14 mil for a bench piece. So I'm kind of saying is like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
Jock doesn't really play the outfield anymore, so you're getting
no, but the
2
lefty
DHs,
and
yeah.
the O'Neill crushes lefties.
O'Neill
I
would be
looked at him.
interesting.
Yeah. I moved off that. I want another starter for the money. Like if that money's available. And this was more trying to see what they'd do than what I do, but 20 mil available.
But you've traded for Crochet.
Yeah.
So the Yankees would have Cole, Rodon, Schmidt, Heel, Nestor, Crochet.
Yep. But Schmidt, Heel, and Nestor aren't in my
Right.
automatic
Right.
top end guys.
Yeah, I'm just, signing another free agent of the caliber you'd want
Yep.
to tell now 2 of those guys you might not be in the rotation. It just,
Yeah.
baseball dynamic-wise gets tricky.
One of them will get hurt in spring training.
Sure.
Or you can take that remaining money and go spend it on a reliever if you want. Like go get Kirby
Right.
Yates for 1 year, 14 mil. Or you can go get, God damn it, go get like a left fielder that's going to be on a 1 year deal. Where did I put all my notes? I had notes about a bunch of other guys I wanted. Yeah, my biggest conundrum when building this is paying for bench.
Right.
Because I want to do it, but no one's going to platoon.
Yeah.
Like if O'Neill and Martian are platooning,
Yeah.
I'd do that. But is that what we want, like, Martian do? Another preamble thing that I wanted to say was the Yankees won the division. Like if they re-signed Soto, they won the division last year with no one else really helping. Right?
Right.
Like they won the division and
A year of Jazz. Like,
and they'd have a full year of Jazz now. And then,
Austin Wells helped out for a while. I know
2 months,
the
yeah.
bookends really hurt. 4 months there, Austin Wells was
but
a really strong catcher.
but
cleanup there.
Verdugo didn't do nothing
Correct.
offensively. Volpe didn't do anything offensively. So I was like,
Oh.
they won the division. If they get Soto
Soto and Judge is really
and
good.
Walker, like I'm kind of fine
Right.
for the regular season.
You can start the year with that.
And Stan.
Well, Stan too.
was very good during the regular
Yes. But that's more the point. I was like,
Yeah.
I was talking myself out of trying to get people everywhere. And it's more like, go get me pitchers. Like, saw Max Scherzer 1 year, and I'm like, that's the fucking shit they do when they got Kluber on the 1 year deal. Like, they'd go do that. And I'm like, would I like that? I want winners and, like, fucking feisty ass people. And I was like, would Scherzer be good for the clubhouse and dugout? I'm like, yeah, he would. Has he been injured? Is he 40 years old? Yeah.
Yes.
Walker Buehler, Flaherty. Those are just two moxie guys.
Yeah.
But Flaherty's too much money. But Walker might be on a 1 year deal.
Yeah.
So those kind of interested me as
That's
well.
gonna be 20 mil.
And this is where they have Walker projected 15. But yes,
Yeah, I think the postseason in the name does him well.
this is where I bowed out. If they don't get the trade for Garrett Crochet, then I want them to go get another starter. And that's where I would try to go get like Flaherty or Walker Buehler
Okay.
for money and not do the Garrett Crochet trade and keep Spencer Jones for like a deadline or whatever. But this is where I my brain was like, fuck, I'm stuck. I saved 20 mil. My main moves are Soto, Walker, and then I liked finding a team that had two relievers available because I feel like the Yankees like that too.
Right.
So I liked the Helsley and Romero, and I don't think it's a big package there. It allows you to keep Jones and some other top prospects to go fetch something bigger. I have 20 mil saved. I can keep Trevino back on the team easily. I think I could even keep Grisham back on the team, and I still have 10 million left.
Currently constructed, there's room to not cut those guys.
Not cut those guys.
Not trade them
and
for
there's,
not
And there's
return.
10 million left.
So yeah, I don't know how hard to segue because Trevino, I was in a similar just thought process of you, like what we saw last year and what the price tag will be. It was like, okay, is it maybe time to move on from Trevino? I mean, you would bring in another veteran catcher anyways. Like, I don't think they're going to give it to Narvaez because then we don't really have a third catcher. Like, then if Wells gets hurt...
You could bring in a
it's
quadruple
JC
A.
Escara. So at that point, you just keep Trevi. Like, it is what it is, and Trevi has one thing he has to work on, like his arm strength, which, hey, he's not going to build up to 90 miles per hour.
Throw some coconuts like Bartolo did.
And also, like, he threw out a couple guys in the post. Like, Trevi's problem is the Yankees that don't pay attention. Like, Boone talked to us about that. And they still love his pitch framing. That
a lot.
The free agent catchers, like Higgy is maybe the top free agent catcher, him and Darno. And those guys are probably going to get $8-9 million.
Yeah,
so
I'm not going to
Trevi,
pay.
at that price, it just...
More so if the way I was looking at Trevi is if that $3.4 million stops you from going and getting someone else that's available,
Right.
you have to kind of
Find a way
backup
to-
catcher versus another guy that can move into the rotation
Yeah.
or even a high-end reliever.
But-
Gotta...
When they have a guy in-house, it seems like he could step into Trevi's role also for the price off. If that money ends up mattering, it's worth investigating the move there.
And then I was finding, and I was sharing this with you, I did a formula to find some relievers that would be cheap that you can go grab and have Matt Blake fix. But that might be a whole nother episode.
Yeah, I mean, you can scour every team, and there's formulas to get there. Whether, we from Wandy Peralta to now Luke Weaver, we've seen the different things the Yankees can tap into. That, yeah, I mean the bullpen. The bullpen is almost the biggest mental hurdle of this exercise, just because the Yankees get full leeway, man. Like, they have kind of done it down there. Like, our biggest regret was them leaving Clay Holmes at closer just because they wanted to believe it.
Yeah.
So, like, but no, I mean, it's what they've been able to tap into in the bullpen, they deserve credit for. And, whoever they tap on the shoulder, like, think about that. Whoever they tap on the shoulder is going to be like, let's go. Like, that was Luke Weaver.
Yeah. The other move is if they don't get Christian Walker, like if they get Juan Soto and don't get Christian Walker, first base is still my top priority. And then I can kind of copy and paste this if you want. I did a toggle down on Google Sheets. If you have my plan, I'll put it down here. Where it was like, all right, don't get Christian Walker. Then I have Yandy in there. Try to trade for him. He's $8 million. But they can't make that many trades. They don't have that many pieces. And then it's like, okay, do you get...
And the partner needs to agree to it.
Do you get Goldie for 1 year? But that's a lot. Carlos Santana, I would rather him on a 1 year deal.
Yeah.
Switch with good defense. Very old.
Goldie feels like
some
Yankees BS. It feels like he's going to come down to the Yankees or Houston. I hit up Katie Wu, who covers St. Louis, and she chips in with John Boy Media stuff, which is cool. And I was like, Goldie's from around the Houston area, so I was like, okay, he kind of seems like more of a Houston, Texas guy. She made it seem like he's not a guy that, like, New York, like, we would look at each other and, like, be, oh, no. Like, I don't know, for one ride to be the Yankees' first baseman for a year, it's not insane.
He had a good second half last year, and he still crushed lefties.
Well, dude, the other thing that frustrated me when I looked at Paul Goldschmidt's stuff is he played every day. He played 154 games. He is 37 years old. So, like, if you can get that down to $125, I think Paul Goldschmidt would play better next year.
Yeah. So that was my, like, realization. It's like, okay, go get Soto. And then if they don't get Soto, that's another episode, but I had all fallbacks. And then get Christian Walker. If you don't get him, I still think first base has to be the priority there. And that also led to my fuck it, Birdie, Durbin.
Figure it out at a spot.
Figure it out at third or second because I need first base. I'd rather get Pop there. We haven't had someone that can, like, hit homers or what was the number? It was like OPS since Tex, some crazy.
Basically any first base number you want since Teixeira. Yankees have not had a good time.
Yeah, but I don't really love that outfield either. So that's where, like, Dominguez, Judge, Dominguez, Soto is. I don't love that in the corners.
Well, let's talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, that was mine.
Let me clean you up a little with Mando. Fellas, football season is here. Tailgates, touchdowns, Sunday cookouts. That means sweats and smells. Just going to be honest with you. No one does that and smells beautifully. Unless you're taking care of yourself with Mando. The whole body deodorant, pits, packages, belly buttons, butt cracks, any stinky crevice you have. Mando can help you out with that. Created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. And it's American made. Hell yeah. Mando Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. And a good stocking stuffer. Comes with solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, and free shipping. And we have the discount code to hook you up. Code YANKS will get you $5 off your starter pack. That's a 40% off. Use code YANKS at shopmando.com. Shopmando.com. Don't let BO keep you on the bench. That's a classic. You know, hey, we've got some mom listeners. Such a classic little stocking stuffer there. Like, oh, and try this out. You're like, what are you trying to say, Mom? Clean it up, fellas.
The other thing that I just want to say is I had Jonathan India part of my plan for a long time.
Yeah.
Leadoff hitter, second base. Jazz goes there. But because I wanted to secure first, and then he's $5 million, and then I don't think they have like 3 trades in him to get MLB guys.
Yeah, that's where the exercise does get tough, just because in our heads... It should almost
be a caveat that you can only make 2 trades when you guys present these to us.
In our heads, we have that in the back of our head. Like, okay, if I was GM, you can't do 8 trades. Like, it's just not going to happen. That's not how the Yankees operate. We also know they operate very single-mindedly, which has worked for them. It's, we're going to do this, get this done. Now we're going to get this done. So I think the two things that are interesting for
Coffee
me
tastes like cigarettes.
to
so
start.
bad. It's so gross.
Sorry.
I was wondering what that look was.
Two things that you and I fully overlapped on that I think are going to be, well, I think A, there's logic involved, and B, you kind of have to. I have Judge moving over to left field
Well,
for my,
yeah, what's the other option? You have to get him out of center
because
field.
we've daydreamed about whether Judge or Soto would take first base. And hey, if Soto signs with the Yankees and they come out and they say Soto's going to play first base, get ready for that episode because that becomes exciting. I think both of them are too proud. And when I say that, I don't want to be actually too much shots fired. Like, they should be proud. They're some of the best at their positions. It's just tricky because Judge is a good right fielder. He's not a great center fielder. We saw him turn it on in the playoffs, but he's not going to do that in the season. Soto, we heard the story before the season. He wants to work to put in the effort at right field, blah, blah, blah. Okay, he was slightly below average is how I would label Juan Soto, the right fielder, in a small right field. So if you're going to sign him for 13 years, there needs to be some sort of plan or agreement that, like, hey, Stanton has 3 years left. That's going to open up the DH spot for one of them. And with all of those proud people involved, I don't think the Yankees are telling anyone you need to move to first base now.
With
Soto's going to be the DH in 3 years.
or Judge,
Or Judge.
because he's older.
Yeah.
When you said that to me the other day, you were like, "Well, dude, Stanton's going to be gone kind of soon." Compared to Judge and Soto's contracts, so the DH is going to be open for them to rotate right field and DH, and also Stanton like misses time all the time, and it's almost like I'm like, hey, if Stanton has to miss these 2 months and then he's ready for the postseason,
Right.
sounds good.
Santa's fully earned that credit.
So I was pretty much one of these guys has to play first, blah blah blah, and then after looking at it that way, I was like, all right, fine.
So, but with that, a Judge does have to move to left field. Because a little bit of what the market dictates. And yeah, I think Soto's going to stay in right field, and he's about that life, and some people don't want the infield, and some people don't like DH, but that's going to sort itself out. I also traded with the White Sox. I did not go for Crochet. I don't know competition-wise and capital-wise if the Yankees have what it takes to get Crochet. I think they very easily do have what it takes to get Luis Robert. So I'm trading to the White Sox for Luis Robert. He has an interesting contract. It's 1 year, $15 million next year, and then it has two $20 million team options. So if Luis Robert is good, the Yankees will opt into that, and they will like that. If he's not, you move on. Luis Robert's price tag, not a lot because of that contract, and he had a bad year last year. Now he's on the White Sox. So again, asking around about that. You're not getting him for free. You may even have to give it like a Spencer Jones or someone.
Yeah, I had him being a similar price to
I had Spencer
Crochet.
Jones going. I think this offseason the Yankees need to make a decision between Dominguez and Jones. You're in on one of them. You're not in on both of them.
Yeah, if they sign Soto. Yeah.
I have them trading Jones.
Yeah. I had Robert and Crochet similar prices in my head because that 20 mil option is pretty nice.
Unless
if
he's
he
bad
plays.
again. If he does what he did last year, you're not picking it up.
But he's never played a full season, so that's where
Exactly.
the Yanks would love him.
Their price tags are different.
And salary wise, like his price point lands in such a sweet spot. Like the Yankees don't consider that a crazy price.
Other teams
and
do.
White Sox definitely are a team that does.
So, in that trade, because I think Jones would get it done. The White Sox like Jones. He is a legitimate prospect. You probably, you have to throw in the hodgepodge of prospects in there. In that trade, or whether it's via three-way or something else, I do have them dumping Stroman.
So we both dumped Stroman on the White Sox?
Both dump Stroman. And whether that's the White Sox or another team, like Stroman's 1 year, $18 million, is that where he's at?
I think 18.5.
It's honestly, for his season results, is not bad. It's not great. Other teams would like to sign free agents if you have $18 million for a better free agent. But again, if the Yankees eat some of that, or for 1 year, like I know people in the office have been daydreaming Jordan Montgomery for Marcus Stroman because Monty is making 22.5 and the Diamondbacks are done with him. That if the Yankees want to get rid of Marcus Stroman, they can, and for the money he is making, it just allows things to be a lot more flexible.
So you have Dominguez starting in AAA?
I do.
Okay.
I think the Yankees have shown us some signs of that. I want the Yankees to go back to a little bit of the concept of, well, I'd love if they had cool veterans on their bench.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think modern baseball really does that.
Yeah.
I like the concept of, hey, if player X gets hurt, the bench guy is still going to stay the bench guy, but we call up Dominguez, and he's going to get full run. I have that same theory with a name who hasn't been mentioned with Ben Rice. Ben Rice was last year's Caleb Durbin. He came up to the big leagues, and he had moments. His final number struggled. We like the at-bats. We need him to look a little less like a little leaguer, but that comes with time. That I'm not done with Ben Rice. Like, I don't think Yankee fans should be done with Ben Rice, because if you like Caleb Durbin, like, Ben Rice's minor league numbers were off the charts. Off the charts. That being said, I'm not penciling him as my starter next year. I am bringing in Carlos Santana.
Nice.
I put 1 year 8. I don't know what Roto had. He was 5.2 last year, but he played better than you thought.
I think his last 2 contracts were both 1 year, and it was more or less 6.5 and 5.5.
Yeah, I bumped him.
So you're bumping him up.
He did play
Gold
well
Glove
last year.
and-
I'm just being safe about it. So I am bringing Carlos Santana in to play first base. And you have Ben Rice in AAA. You have Rice and Dominguez in AAA. If an outfielder gets hurt, Dominguez is called up. If first base or infield, that gets a little tricky for Rice. But he's your Carlos Santana's old insurance plan. Like, I don't think we should give up on Ben Rice yet. And again, Carlos Santana was really good last year. Like you said, you'd rather have him over Goldschmidt, essentially, for the price tag.
For the price tag. I don't like... I wanted Carlos Santana. I was on him for a while, I kept saying, because his defense is really good.
He mauls lefties.
Okay, maybe that'll turn me on to him.
I think his OPS was in the 9s versus lefties last year.
Yeah, 934 versus lefties.
Like, that's legit.
That is legit.
Which, again, the other side of that is he's not as good against righties, but he still gets on base, and he's a switch hitter at the bottom of the lineup. And he won the Gold Glove. So
I watched a lot of him play at first. It was really good. It was like impressively good. Scooping and going and getting the ball. Yeah, he's 39 years old, hasn't played. He played a lot last year, but
and yeah,
he does play all the time.
Depending how the injuries go down with the roster, like if Ben Rice is on the team and he partially platoons with him, and that's how we find out, like, I'm okay with that.
Just want some more slug. I was upset. When I looked at him, I'm like, I want some more pop at
sure.
first
Well,
base.
Luis Robert, that was kind of where I was
Pop
going.
at center
pop.
field helps
Yeah.
out there. Yeah.
And like I mentioned, and maybe I should have started the exercise here, I am bringing back Trevino and Wells. Run it back there. Wells has established himself as a starter. Trevi, throw some coconuts like we talked about. Let's see. Meza, I declined the option. I agreed on that. Let's see. I'll get to the bullpen because that involves Trent Grisham a little bit. So the only other... I'm leaving Jazz at third. I said it when they traded for Jazz, and I got to watch the instant results. I like Jazz at third. I was blown away by it. I think he's incredibly athletic. I think he has a strong arm. I think he has the reaction time that our, discussions with Boone was just like, hey, this guy needs to practice the position because he's never played it. I think they love Jazz at third, and I kind of love Jazz at third, that I'm leaving him at third. And that leaves second base open, and I have the Yankees signing Jorge Polanco, the longtime Minnesota Twin.
I looked at him.
He went to the Mariners last year, and he had one of his worst seasons, which a lot of players have done that. Seattle's a really bad place to hit. That team has been offensively anemic. Teoscar Hernandez went over to Seattle and had a bad year. Jesse Winker went over to Seattle and had a bad year. Unfortunately, sorry to my Mariners fans, they've had a little bit of a history with this. That Jorge Polanco, He's a switch-hitting second baseman. His career before the Mariners, he hit at a Gleyber-ish level. And I think his defense doesn't blow you away either.
It's really bad. It ranks out pretty terrible.
It's Gleyber-ish, but like you said with that Yankees, how they evaluate talent, if I've got help with Santana at first, and now I've got 2 switch hitters, veteran switch hitters on the right side of the infield, I really like the lineup.
I like that Polanco and Santana are switch hitters. I don't like Polanco's defense at third.
Right, second.
Because I'd rather Jazz move over and do something else.
Yeah.
Because, him and Soto. Like, his arm grades out really bad. So, basically, any field that's got a deep right field, you're running all day on the right side.
Sure.
Which stinks.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I believe in the lineup. We saw how thin the Yankees lineup got towards the end of the series. Obviously, the Dodgers beat us in every facet, and the Yankees had that 5th inning. But, yeah, I like those 2 veterans on the right side. Polanco, I penciled him in for $11 million. Again, I didn't see what he was slotted for. I think I aimed high there. He could be even an interesting if the Yankees could somehow do like a team option for the second year. Because if Jorge Polanco taps into his Minnesota, again, players get older and, there's no players playing at 60 years old. Father Time always wins. His Minnesota Twins career, he was a 111 OPS plus guy. Last year was literally like his only bad season. Going back to 2018, excluding 2020, the shortened season, but 2018 to 2023, he was a positive OPS plus.
How much did you have him?
I put $11 million.
Yeah, the Mariners declined his $12 million option.
Right.
So,
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like I was aiming high with my numbers just to be safe because I'm, like Brian Cashman said interviewing with us, I'm not great with the numbers. Okay, Cash. I like to think you're okay with them. So that basically set my lineup, or does set my lineup. Wells Trevino, Carlos Santana, Polanco, Volpe, Jazz, Judge in left, Robert in center, Soto in right, Stanton DHing. On the bench, Trevi, Birdie, DJ, because you have to run that out. And then I did sign one more free agent, a guy you're very close with. I signed Michael A. Taylor for 1 year, $2.5 million. He had a very down offensive year. Defensively, he still grades out fantastic. And if you're saying, okay, where's Waldo? I unfortunately do have him technically starting in AAA, but with one injury, he is back on the big league team. And that has Dominguez, Rice, and then I put Durbin, LOL, ready to go in AAA. I guess I'll start with Trent Grisham because I am picking up his $5.5 million that he's owed this year, but I am trading him. Trent Grisham essentially played to be Trent Grisham last year. It was his first time becoming a bench player, and he got off to a horrible start, and then after that, he actually played pretty well. He was a 2-WAR guy on both of his seasons on the Padres. He ended up being a positive WAR player last year after his horrible start. The teams that popped up as looking Trent Grisham, if you're going to play him as an outfielder for $5.5 million with his defense, is actually somewhat valuable to teams. You just have to play him. And Harrison Bader's a free agent this year. I think he's going to get a lot more than $5.5 million. That I had Trent Grisham being traded to the Marlins, a team we trade with. I was looking at Kansas City too. I know you were. They had some relievers. For these smaller market teams, it's a lot easier to pay for an outfielder you're going to play a lot than a reliever. Yeah. I traded with the Marlins for Anthony Bender. He is a setup guy for them. He has a couple major league career saves. He is making $3.3 million. So in that trade, the Marlins get a potential everyday player for them in Trent Grisham. The Yankees get Anthony Bender, who has pitched in some high leverage innings. And, if there's prospects around that, but I really don't think it would be crazy because a team like Miami paying a reliever $3.2 million is somewhat difficult for them. So that was one of my trades, or my 2 trades. And I guess with that, so that leaves. So we signed Michael A. Taylor, your guy. I did offer Tim Hill and Tim Meza the same minor league into major league $1.5 million deal. If either of them want to take that, we'll see. And I want them to sign a high-end reliever. I think they've needed that. I think they'll acknowledge that, but I also think they believe in what they're doing so much. I was looking for the next Luke Weaver. Teams, when they do something successfully, they like to add to that in the same way. Mike Soroka is a free agent.
Ooh, a lot of White Sox.
He was on the White Sox last year. His numbers on the season are not very impressive. Mike Soroka had a 4.74 ERA, 0-10 record. Oh, thank God for Mike Soroka. He's hitting free agency now because people would think he's dead. If you want to bring him into spring training and keep him stretched out just for fun, sure. We've done that with pitchers. Jim, here's the stat that I think you'll like. Michael Soroka as a starter last year, 9 starts, a 6.39 ERA. Not so hot. Less than a strikeout per inning. Michael Soroka as a reliever last year, 16 games. He had a 2.75 ERA, 36 innings. So he was throwing multiple innings in relief. 16 appearances, 36 innings. In those 36 innings, he had 60 strikeouts.
I'm going to guess he's entering games that are kind of done and guys are just swinging.
I mean, in a way, every White
Slop
Sox
roll.
game is, but to still get major league stats, it's not like hitters like giving away at bats. You know what I'm saying? That I think the Yankees, I say slightly unfortunately, but I think they go that route because they believe in what they're doing.
I don't think he fits the bill of guys they like to mold. He doesn't have any velo.
He's half mold. He's not far from Weaver range, right? His fastball sat at 93, 94.
93, yeah.
So, with that bullpen tick up. And again, this is where the bullpen,
Weaver sat at 96, 95.7.
Before they got him?
That's
what I'm saying, because you got to take out their starting times because they...
94.9 in 2022.
Yeah, so Soroka's not too far from that. And yeah, that's kind of where my budget stopped. So I could see them doing the Tanner Scott because they were linked to that. But I think my final numbers, I ended up with $11 million or so to spend, and I'm not spending it. And that it's unfortunately a Yankees bullpen that I think we're daunted to and have been freaked out ever since we saw those sick ones in the end of the 2010s. But it's Weaver, Bender, Hammy, Cousins, Leiter Jr. I did have Hill picking up that $1.5 million because I think he liked it. And then Brubaker, Soroka as your swingmen / potential Luke Weavers.
You addressed the lineup way more than I did because you don't even have a starting pitcher.
No, I have Cole, Rodon, Clark, Heel, Nestor. I think they believe in Brubaker. They traded for him while he had Tommy John, that if he's your 6th man going into next year, okay. And then, they still have Cody Poteet in AAA, who gave them spot starts and was fine.
I need someone above. I need someone butting with Rodon.
Yeah, I just don't see them doing that because they financially have so much money in Cole and Rodon that they like Clark and they like Heel. And I know Nestor's been an up and down for this show, but he was 2nd on the team in quality starts last year. That to have him as your 5.
Yeah, just for injury, one of those guys is going to go down. Right now, Brubaker's in the starting rotation. If that's what you leave.
Yes and no. Yeah, and I think, obviously, what we saw from Will Warren, we weren't excited. Beater, Warren, Yogo. You'd like to think one of those younger guys takes a step up to contribute. We didn't have Luis Heel last year doing what he did. That as far as major league rotations go, I guess I would rather address more in the lineup. And I don't know if you're going to be able to convince an MLB starter to come in and be the 6. But I
No,
know-
that's just Nestor Heel.
yeah. I mean, don't you think the Yankees are all in on Heel?
Yeah, but reservedly so. It's first year.
Sure.
You don't know what's going to go on. He could very much be shaky or be nothing, you know.
Yeah.
Your plan looks like my plan if they didn't get Soto. Like, I went and got a lot of the bats that you got. But for me, I was like, Soto, Walker, and then give me relievers and starters.
Right.
And get me
2 big offense additions.
two big.
Okay,
Yeah.
go.
If they got the 2 big offensive additions, I was like, I'm pretty happy with the lineup
Yeah.
right now to roll out rookies, roll out Dominguez, roll out the triage of rookies at third, and then go spend and trade for arms,
Yeah.
especially multiple year arms.
Yes. And again, the Yankees, they're looking for talent to a degree. I originally was trying to dream up Robert and Crochet package trades, and that kind of got shot down by the people I talked to. So, yeah, I mean, I know the team ran out on a couple levels last year, but Luis Robert, I just think of the attainability and the other thing that the Yankees are going to look into. Did Jazz Chisholm not look like a different cat when he left Miami? Like happy Jazz Chisholm, I love baseball. Like Luis Robert actually has a track record of being an incredible, higher talent player than Jazz Chisholm. That Luis Robert going from the White Sox to these Yankees, playing with Judge and Soto, like that has a chance. And like you said, and I love that you said it, like his contract for the Yankees can be viewed as optimistic, where other teams are like scared of it.
Yes. But the injuries are a little scary. But the outfield is just scary.
Well, and that's where Dominguez, if he's your AAA guy, if Robert gets banged up or Stanton gets hurt, you call up Jason Dominguez. That's kind of how it's supposed to work.
And you got Michael A. Taylor, so you did
He's your
address
bench.
center field depth.
Michael A. Taylor, you catch balls. You have Trent's sleepy role.
Just less money?
Less money.
Like half the money.
Yeah, Trent's too much money for that role.
For the Yankees, absolutely. If you're another team
That's going to start him. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for a starting center fielder that plays high-level defense, like the other team, I'd mentioned this, but the Royals, they have some other young options that are similar to Trent that I don't know if they'd be about, but they also have bullpen guys they could potentially move.
Do we have one more ad for final thoughts?
DraftKings. The chill is in the air. Leaves are falling on the ground in football every dang weekend. There's one last night. Fell asleep. Right now, all new customers who bet just $5 will instantly get $200 in bonus bets when you use code YANK. Stay in on the action. Use your $200 in bonus bets. Bet some anytime touchdowns. You hit one of those, bada bing, bada boom. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code YANKS. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code YANKS only at the DraftKings Sportsbook.
I do think they're going to go after relievers more than we think. I wouldn't be surprised if they spend big because they're losing Holmes, Canely, and they started the year with Loaizaga.
Right.
So they started with those were the 3 high-end guys that they started with in the pen. And this year, right now, it's 0. Weaver.
Yeah. I mean, I think...
Oh, I was going to open up. You go sign Tonkin to a minor league.
Oh,
deal.
okay.
It was the first move you do.
Okay. Done.
Pay your
Bring the vibes back.
Pay your respects.
Bring the vibes back.
course.
Yeah.
Okay, him and Tim Hill then. Done.
Tim Hill might get like $2 million.
Yeah. I mean,
There's
I
a chance somebody like
had
can
1.5.
over the offseason
Oh.
guarantee him a major league spot if the Yankees are trying to do
The-
under the table.
The other thing, and it's part of the reason I picked Bender in that Marlins trade, although they had a couple guys that would have worked. The Yankees bullpen currently doesn't have like anyone with options. So I think they're going to trade for option guys.
Oh.
We've seen them do that before.
Yeah.
So that's when I was looking at the Royals. The Royals have a couple guys. I don't think they're ready to trade Bubich. That would be a sick one because I really want the Yankees to have like a lefty, like an 8th inning lefty. No offense to Hill or Major.
You just named JoJo Romero.
Right. Right. I didn't hate that, but I think him and Helsley also don't have options. That like right now, Ian Hamilton is the only guy in the bullpen with an option. So we know the Yankees value that. Just playing the game of the season, you need that a little bit. And we've seen when they've traded for Wandy and Efros and other guys, so there's definitely going to be a reliever that they can ride the bus trade. I don't know who that is. I don't have Bender as that necessarily. He just has options.
My dude from Colorado, 3 options.
Boom. Vivod?
Victor Vodnik.
He's kind of nasty.
Throws a real fast 4-seam fastball that gets hit to shit. So you go pick him up and you turn that fastball into a sinker, and now you've got Clay Holmes.
Just add a little run, Victor.
Threw his 4-seam fastball 63% of the time, averaged 97.9 miles per hour, 495 slugging against. So, take that pitch and move it a little off barrel. And don't tell the Rockies that. Also, probably in Colorado, balls don't move.
Right.
So you probably just hey.
It might even move.
You might even get much more movement out of it. Bednar trade was another one that people I saw come up. What's interesting, I don't know if you looked at MLB trade rumors.
My other fake fear, because I could see Tanner Scott getting in the mix. Tanner Scott, Christian Walker, beard guys. I'm nervous with my beard guys now. Old Christian Walker didn't. New sex pot Christian Walker, big beard guy.
Yeah, but I feel like he can go no beard fine.
It's just all clean now. He's full bald.
Yeah, we need that. We haven't had bald guy in a long time.
I know it.
If you look at the MLB trade rumors, I'm just going to control find Yankees and go down because they have Tim Dirk, Anthony Franco, Dara McDonald, and Steve Adams predicting where the guys will go. Okay. And just where the Yankees fell. Juan Soto got predictions. But there were some guys down. Jack Flaherty, someone predicted him to the Yankees. But that's a lot of money and a lot of years I think Flaherty's going to get. So I don't know if they're going to do that.
Yeah.
Anthony Santander. Santander. I looked at him for a long time, and he's part of my if they don't get Soto plan for sure.
Okay.
Because he can play left field.
Kinda.
But, hey, Judge out there.
He's worse than Soto.
Judge isn't going to try in left. We're already kind of fucking ourselves there.
Yeah.
But he can hit. He can mash.
He can hit.
And he can be moved around. They had Christian Walker. 2 guys predicted him. Tanner Scott. 1 guy predicted him to the Yankees. A veteran pitcher that this also I loved. It's too much money. It was Eovaldi. One of them predicted Eovaldi. But that's what I want in the rotation. I want another veteran. So when we get the postseason, he might not have had a good year, but he's done this before.
He's starting.
Your guy Verlander.
Nah,
they already did that dance. He actually, unfortunately, fits kind of perfectly because he was bad last year.
Yeah, Scherzer was hurt. That's why I saw that too. But I was I don't know.
Yeah.
Someone predicted Max Scherzer to the Yankees. Kirby Yates, someone predicted him. It's a lot of money for a reliever for 1 year. That was kind of it. That was all that got predicted to the Yankees.
Yeah. The other thing that we're, as we go through some of these different exercises, I don't know, if they don't trade Nestor, that changes a lot. Or Stroman.
Yes. It's a lot of money to be dumped there. It's part of a big trade. So you guys submit yours. Well, Beebs, if you can share the Google sheet link, a blank template.
Yeah, the first sheet.
Yeah, the first sheet. Copy and paste that.
Yeah,
and
make
then
that a new one.
I think they can you can hit make a copy, and then they can edit it on their own. If we make it view only, share it, they can make a copy of the sheet, do it on their own, leave the comments in. Next episode, we're going to go see what you guys put together, combinations of people to stay under 300. And I would limit yourself to 2 trades, one high-end trade and one little trade. And we'll go over it, see if we missed anything cool, any good combinations. This is a with Soto plan. And you can't just be getting people for discounts.
Hey, and get Soto.
Get Soto.
That's kind of the thing. The 2 generational hitters.
It's cool.
Yeah. It allows you to do a lot if you get Soto. All right. That's the app. Go Yanks. Tell them, Grams.
Go Yankees.